do you work on the new development on vacant possession? Let's say, for example, people got their property, okay? You know, nowadays, a lot of new development, but then there are a lot of people who buy new development, but they have no idea how to look into whether this one got defect or not, and then they only know how to go and look at my video. My video also half plastic. So do you provide this kind of service?
Yes, we do. In fact, we're helping a lot of home buyers to carry out this building inspection. It means we're helping the buyers to take vacant possession of all their new property. So, in fact, I think during this MCO period, we have been received a lot of requests from the foreigner. I mean, the outsider. I mean, for people that stay overseas. You know, they can't come back to Malaysia to take possession of a new property. So we'll be engaged by these buyers to take possession of the property. So this happened. And also in Malaysia, also, we have been helping a lot of buyers, purchasers, doing this vacant possessions inspection.
That's very interesting. So how does this process work? Okay, so basically, if they gotten the key, do they have to give you the key, or you actually help them to go and collect the key on behalf of the on behalf of them, and then go and submit all this defect to the developer, or you just do the report and give it to them? So what is the process like? Is it something that they can be carefree, just use an authorized letter and then do everything for me? Is that something that you do?
Yes. So actually, the process depends on the purchaser. For example, if some of the purchaser you already taken possession of the unit, which that means you already have the key. So in order for us to move on with the inspection, definitely you need to pass us the key.
Correct.
And also we will need your floor plan. We will need your floor plan, and also we will need to study your SPA, sales and purchase agreement. I need to go through the detail,
The details,
your
the
specification.
quality. Yeah,
The
specification.
quality. Yeah, I don't know whether when you buy property, have you go and check the SPA or not? In the SPA, sometimes you look at the description itself, sometimes it's very brief. Meaning that, you look at the back, they'll tell you they are using the quality lock set, that kind of thing. So we will need all this information, and then we'll perform the inspection for you. So, for example, if you're the buyers that you think that I have no time because of this pandemic, I cannot go and collect the key, we do have the service to help you to take vacant possession. That means to take the key on your behalf. But we will need the authorization letter from you, meaning that you actually authorize us to act on your behalf to go and collect the key from the developer. And from our service, we are not just one time, okay? Because, for example, after we carry out the inspection, we will produce the report. And normally now we give e-report, the PDF report. So with the e-report that we have, we will normally either we forward to the purchaser, or sometimes some of the owner, they engage us to help them to go through the entire process. Meaning that we will act on behalf of the buyers to email the report to the developer directly. So after the developer, they have received our report, they will proceed with the rectification. So after the rectification has done, we will come back again to do the follow-up inspection on the buyers. So basically, we provide is a full package of service. So it's depend to the owner. So you want us, we can do the entire process for you to help you from the day one until the end, to follow up through for you. Or some of the owner, they might engage us for one time for the initial inspection. So all depends at your requirement, at your needs. You need us, we will be here for you.
So actually, this is a solution for all the people out there who buying properties in KL, but you are not staying in KL, you are not even living in KL. You can actually hire Joshua to do all this kind of work. Fantastic. This is something that a lot of people wanted to know, because a lot of people think that I have to travel around here to see my property when it's vacant possession. I have to get... Okay, so yeah. So in this case, a lot of people who buy property from outside of KL, they can still continue to enjoy enjoy Joshua Kang's services, which is very, very good. So what kind of defect you commonly see? Almost every time you see any development sure got this kind of defect one. What are the defect that is very common in the market?
If you look at the defect, I would say different projects, they have their different issues.
I see.
As a doctor of the building, I will tell you that none of the building is defect free. If you give me your key, I will tell you I will definitely get some defect for you. It's
Which
not that we
is,
purposely.
I
It's
agree
because,
so much. Which I
yeah.
agree so much. Because
So
a
if
lot
you,
of developer claim that they are zero defect lah, this and that. I don't think that is right to claim that. Yes.
no, it's not possible because the building itself is built by human. So with the humans, definitely there are some defects. So if you ask me what are the common defects that we found, for example, the most common one is on the cracks, cracks on the building. You can see the crack itself is sometimes on the wall, sometimes on the ceiling, sometimes it happen on the floor as well. Okay, so with the different type of cracks, it indicate different problem of the building. Some of the crack it might be on the surface, which is on the surface they kind of cracks, the minor hairline crack. But there are certain cracks it actually showing that the building itself there are some issue. For example, we even seen I remember I inspected the building in Penang. Okay, when as we know, once the building is completed, all the piping are basically concealed inside the wall. And with this the piping are concealed inside the wall. One, it bursts. We can't see. So we have to inspect. That's why for us, when we do the inspection, we are not just using the normal eyes, means that the visual, we are using the infrared to scan through the entire house to see any dampness or any leakages or not. And on top of this, beside from the cracks, beside from the leakage, we also will help you to check on the M&E services. For example, your wiring, whether it's functioning well or not. So every power point will help you to check. And on top of this, we'll help you to check on the alignment of the wall and then the tiles as well. If you're buying property, you're familiar with the tiles. Sometimes the tiles is actually hollow. In Cantonese,
Yes.
we say hong sam.
Hong Sam,
Hollow
yes.
tiles. Oh no. You might ask, hollow tiles, is it a major problem? Is it a major issue?
Of
Then I'll
course.
say yes.
Yes.
Because I got some client, over a period, one night, all of a sudden the tiles in the living room just pop up. And sometimes the tile just drop, just over a night. So that's why this is very important. As a buyer, if you're buying the property, this is our right to get all these inspected and recorded, and then we get the developer to come in and rectify for us. Because this is our right as a purchaser when you're buying the property. Just how Vicky mentioned about the screw, right? Same thing. When you buy the property, they're supposed to install 4 screws. So we must make sure they must install all the screws first. So basically, this is the role of the building surveyor. Then we help you to do the inspection.
Okay. So yeah, if I would say, would you say that certain developer has got more defect than any other developers? Okay, since you've done so many development inspection, right? Is there certain developers have got more defects? Is it very important to choose a good developer?
I would say yes. Different developers, I would say they might have a different commitment. Meaning that some of the developers, they are very quality concerned. That's why I do receive some inquiry from some of the buyer. They ask me, Joshua, you have been inspected so many properties, so many buildings. Can you tell me which development, which developer, or even some they ask me, which contractor, their workmanship is the best? Frankly speaking, just like I did mention about the QLASIC, all this,
Yes.
actually CIDB, we do have the assessment system that actually to help the developer to go to different project and do the assessment. So QLASIC basically actually is the independent assessment system that provided by CIDB. They go to the new project and then they will, based on the quality, they will give the scoring. So just how the Vicky, the question you asked me about the quality, right? Different developer, the quality will be different, no? I would say yes. Because for the developer, they will engage different contractor for their different phases of the project. With the different contractor, different subcontractors they have, so the workmanship actually would be different. By giving an example, some people ask me, whether this particular A developer, is it all their project, the workmanship, the quality is the same or not? I would say it's different. Because different phases, they might award the project to the different contractors. So with the different contractor, you can see there's a different in terms of the workmanship. That's why it is very important, I would say, for the house buyer, you want to buy property or you want to invest in a property, you must know who are the good developer, that they were responsible. They will be coming back to us when we complain to them about the defects. Because I have the experience with some developer. When we prepare the report, when we submit it to the developer, some of the developers just sit on the report. They don't even bother, So I always call this chauka developer, kaki busuk. So meaning that you submit, you complain, they don't entertain, they don't come back. Even some of these developers, they challenge the purchaser, you go and sue me, They even challenge the purchaser. That's why I think it's very important for us. If you want to invest in property or you want to buy property, you must make sure that we know who are the good developer, and then that who are the reliable developer that we should go and buy the property from them.
Yes.
So all this actually I can tell you, there's some information we can trace from the internet. We will know who are the good and bad developer.
Very good information. Especially this is the question that always being asked by me. Which are the developer that's good? Because I always emphasize on developer and workmanship. Which I'm very scared of bad workmanship, especially condominium and service apartment. If you buy a bad workmanship, right? For a few years during the possession, right? During your possession, you will be having so much of headache. You will have leaking problem, this and that. And anyway, Joshua, Surveyor Joshua, we have got